Okay, sure. Hi everyone. My name is Srini and I welcome you all to this Applied Analytics webinar brought to you by Ennoble Group Inc. We had our successful first session and the response was really overwhelming and the audience were awesome. So based on that, the second session basically I'm expecting all the audience to be very interactive and ask questions in the chat or raise your hand or whatever that makes you more interactive so that your doubts can be cleared. That's my request to all the audience. And I'm sure this webinar is going to be very insightful to you all and can guide you in taking a big leap towards building your careers in data analytics. Actually, we are going to launch an online training program in a couple of weeks. And this webinar will also give an idea about what will be covered in the training program and make yourself acquainted with the faculty. I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Arun Prasad, an experienced trainer in applied analytics in some of top-notch universities in USA. Arun is associated with ISO currently, and he's a key strategist in predictive analytics and big data architecture with strong domain expertise in insurance finance applications. He's going to enlighten us with all the buzzwords like data science, big data, predictive analytics, so on and so forth. Please go ahead and gain the most from this informative webinar session. All your questions in the chat will be answered towards the end of the session. Arun, can you please take over from here?
Yes, Srini, am I audible again?
Yeah, you are audible.
Great, thank you for the welcome intro, really appreciate that. Hello everyone, my name is Arun Prasad. I'm logged in from New Jersey, USA. Hope you're all having a great weekend. I look forward to sharing a few minutes with you today and to talk about the field of applied analytics and big data. Now, I know that several of you are logged in from various different parts of the world into this conversation, and you might have different backgrounds. So probably I want to address that first. A person who is coming down to the webinar without prior information on analytics, this is the best session for you because you will actually get a real strong hold on what analytics means, what is applied analytics, what is data science, how you can, what is happening in the industry, what are the different trends, so on and so forth. People who have already have been exposed to analytics and big data concepts, you will be able to utilize some of the use cases, and you'll be able to see how you could hone your existing skills into a few domain-related problems that we'll be discussing about. Again, the title is Applied Analytics. So the application of the data science concept is the key in today's world. So we'll be talking about that. Well, there can be folks who are from programming background or database background, probably not having a lot of exposure on IT processes. I hear a lot of echo a little bit. Could you please mute the line?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It's fine. Great. So people who have some fundamentals of IT systems and processes, you will be able to know how you can leverage those experienced profiles that you have worked with. You will be able to leverage all the projects that you have worked with in your current environment, and how you could potentially add a few more feathers in your cap with taking up a few more interesting insights on the existing data or data warehouse projects that you're dealing with. Having said that, I'll start off with a quick intro. This is how I look. I have a bunch of degrees and a bunch of applications and publications, about 10+ publications. I have a patent pending on mathematical models. So that was on image-related machine learning algorithms. But I'm very excited about this field. I have been excited about this field for a long time. When I got started, I I was into the algorithm development in machine learning and deep sciences world, not knowing that it would eventually become a very good um, this publicly aware analytics as it is sounding to be. So it happened to be good for me, but I had to take a detour until the data science becomes so-called data science. I had to work on Java technologies and project management technologies and things like that. So that's my brief background. So what I've primarily done is I've split the today's session into three unequal parts, if you will. The first part is the most important, and I'll probably take the majority of the time in the first part, because that in essence talks about the application of what analytics and big data could do. Even as an audience, after listening to this, I can assure you that you will have an interesting conversation, and you probably at least will have a bragging rights with your colleagues around the cooler tomorrow or whenever you go to the office. And at least having the knowledge will help you to enhance your performance in your chosen field of profession. So it's a no nuisance small talk, market trends, being aware, and what is the data paradigm, and how are the historical examples as to how it's been delved into what the field has become, such a big field it is today. So we'll talk about that. The second part, of course, is going to be a little bit more hands-on. We'll talk about what is really analytics means, what are the technologies, what are the processes. So to get you a little bit of technology ready and analytic basic understanding is what is the idea about the second part of the session. The third part is, okay, now that you know all these things, how about understanding what a data science mindset is, and having a slice of life of a data scientist from on a daily basis, what they will be focused on, and so on and so forth. So that's what we'll be focused on. And if there is anything, at least you take back home a few interesting insights from this. So thank you for allowing me to share, and thank you for being a wonderful audience. So please feel free to interrupt and also connect via the chat feature and on any questions that you might have. So first of all, let's start with motivation, right? What is these analytics all about? What happened all of a sudden? What happened all of a sudden in the past 2 to 3 years? If you remember, I remember 2010 so very well. I remember 2012 extremely well. Nobody talked about analytics. Nobody talked about big data. Data warehousing was still big, and it still is. The ETL is a big deal right now also. But what happened? Why is this analytics and big data all talked almost every single news media? If you tune into any of the IT related news, you will definitely see some kind of analytics. If you tune into Olympics is so funny that everything is analytics there. Probably it's my own bias. A person with a red eye sees the entire world with the red. So I think I see it from an analytics perspective. Every single player has a lot of data strategy, competition. Even Usain Bolt, if you look at the examples of Usain Bolt, you know when Usain Bolt will speed and what force he will have, and the closest competitor, the US person who is closest competitor, how much of a lead he has to have in the initial 5 seconds. If he did not lead Usain Bolt by so much of a gap in terms of lead in the first 5 seconds, Usain Bolt is going to overtake him. So it's those kind of analytics is so much empowering, and you will be able to predict a lot more, suggest a lot more, give more insights, and that's what we'll talk about a little bit. And we'll talk about how you can start your data science journey. But before that, today morning I went to my ATM machine and it said this thing, insufficient funds, and I was wondering whether it is insufficient fund in the bank or insufficient funds in my account, right? It was not clear. So if you're wondering like that, this is a great motivation. You go look at your bank account or go look at your ATM, and if you're not satisfied, that's a great motivation for looking at new trends. And I believe if I welcome you, I'll definitely welcome you to the world of data analytics, and you will have a great time, and your insufficient fund problem will become sufficient fund problem, and I hope so. We'll talk about it why, right? So kidding aside, you'll see that there are more than 600 billion US dollars is lost on poor data quality. Whenever people have pain, they respond. Whenever people are desire focused, they might not. Think about it, if there is something really paining, you might want to get rid of it, and you would be motivated to act upon. So that's why $600 billion they lose. That's a great statistic that people are wanting to know what they could do to protect their assets. It could be fraud, it could be underwriting leakage, it could be any of those things. Also, the spending is very, very big and unseen from past decade or so. There's more jobs than you can even imagine. 4.4 million IT jobs. By the way, these are not claims from Arun Prasad. These are claims from well-known publications. Gartner is published all these things. So go blame Gartner if it is not true, but I believe it's true. Otherwise they would not show these figures. It's exaggerant for me, but it might be conservative for them, before they shown it to public. There's 1.5 million more data savvy managers are needed in the United States itself. So the job market is really good. By 2020, when things turn around, you'll see 35 zettabytes worth of data. This zettabytes of data, 70% of the data is being generated by individuals. The rest 30% is by corporations. But whatever it is, it's a problem. It's a nice problem to have, because we could drive a lot of insights, but it might become a burden also if you're not taking data into information and making some actions on it. So, but let's not talk about a little bit boring stuff, that to this time of the evening. I believe that, we'll have to spice it up a little bit. So if you're dozing off, I want to show you a nice picture, much better picture than mine. It's a picture of a Saudi princess. The Saudi princess came down to live in New York, in Manhattan, and she used to socialize in high expensive firms, had a no limit Amex card and a large collection of expensive jewelry. Nobody knows how much jewelry she has. She's from Saudi, right? So obviously she has a lot of gold. But problem is, she got mugged on 71st Street in Manhattan. So, and the mugging event also was reported by cops for some reason, and she had all the proofs. So because she had all the proofs in place, nobody knows how much she lost, but at least based on her Amex limit card, the insurance company at that time refunded $1 million. So this is a person who lost more than 1 million, at least the claim, but the insurance company says that, I don't have proof for your jewelry, but I'll give you 1 million. So $1 million was transacted and given to Saudi princess. Then the insurance company goes back and says that, okay, let's do some audits and things of that nature. Large claims gets audited by routine, and after about 3 months, lo and behold, oh my God, the Saudi princess is no longer from Saudi. She's from Buffalo, New York. So surprise, Anthony Millard is age 42, and we are able to find it through a concept called entity resolution, ER in short. Entity resolution is a technique in data science where you could actually attach figurative numbers to a particular person, maybe through feature vectors that you can extract, or probably a few insights that you can actually attach to maybe a zip code, maybe a street level. Okay, probably in this street so much transaction happens, or probably in this street so much crime happens. You can facilitate probably through that. So the question to the onlooker, the question to your audience, you have to ask yourself a question. how can we protect ourselves through these kind of mistakes? Can analytics help? I believe analytics can help. Definitely, why not, right? And can analytics thwart even before it happens, or even at real time when the transaction is happening, when the person is filing a claim on the phone? Can analytics trigger whether it is a phony phone call or a genuine phone call? Can that happen? I believe it can happen. How do I know? Because of Palantir Technologies. Palantir Technologies is a great firm. I've been partnered with them for a little while, and of course, they don't trade a lot of secrets, but they claim, this is just a claim, they claim to be the firm that helped locate the Bin Laden, fugitive. And if you look at the picture a little bit, you'll see a lot of graphs. It's a graph database. It's a Neo4j platform. It was funded by DARPA Laboratories, by CIA, and I think it's an offshoot of that major undertaking. So they had to swipe through just to give you an idea as to how much of data that they had to mine. They had to literally mine every single byte in the entire world of social media, of anything related to people, anything related to transaction, anything related to money. Anyone swipes a credit card, anyone transacts through cash, it has to be mined, looked at any links. So it's called link analysis. You can actually call it network diagram analysis. It could be called as graph topology analysis. There's a new field that's coming up. It's called TPA, topographic data modeling, and that's something that's really, really innovative. It talks about shape of data itself. So all these kind of analytics can be done, and if you want to locate people of interest, you can locate people of interest in a particular fashion. So go read about Palantir Technologies. I think you'll be very interested about it. So if you're a person who likes these kind of if you have read novels that are really crime novels, or if you've studied some few movies or some books, I think analytics is your field. I can tell you that. Second, if you're a person who's looking forward to help a society by being an engineer, but engineers usually do not construe of helping the society, and this is a better way of doing it, I think. What this company does is Interleukin Genetics. They collect thousands and thousands and millions of samples of human genomes. They've decoded all the human genomes, and they find out through pattern matching, neural networks, and deep learning that can I predict whether this person will be obese in the next 10 years? Can I predict whether this person will be susceptible to cancer? Can I predict what is the propensity of this particular patient or this particular case to be likely for a heart issue? So what I did, I took samples of my parents, father and mom, and I took my sample and sent it to them. So they profile matched, and they gave a bunch of recommendations. It's that effective, and as there more and more people subscribe to them, the data grows, and then they can actually review the results back. This is another example, a GDELT project. Just imagine, within about a day, the content that goes on in YouTube is almost double of what the content is being uploaded by all the major television channel networks. So much content is being uploaded in YouTube, and so much content is being written in blogs, in posts. So this company looks at all posts, every single post, using more than 100 different languages. It captures locations, organizations, themes, emotions, and sentiment analysis, and broadcasts, and print media, web news, even blog posts, and comes up with this nice looking graph. What I have done here is I've run this demo to run from 2013 to all the way to 2015. So that's why you have a global footprint of what is happening. The red spots show danger zones. So if you see a few zones that is very familiar to you, you always hear that people have lost their lives or something has happened, natural calamity and things like that. Green ones are usually the ones that are pretty good ones, like Olympic Games or any of that nature. So how will it be useful? I think people will use it if you know that it's common sense, isn't it? If you know that one particular area is known for crime, you would not drive through that particular area, right? It's common sense. Nobody needs to tell you, and that's what this tells you. Usually, data science is all about bringing effective information in front of you in such an easy fashion, such that you can make your own decisions based on that. Okay, so far you probably might not know how dangerous that zone is, and you probably might have driven through that village, but now that you know a little bit more data, you can protect yourself. Okay, so I want to talk about information, right? The data is all pervasive, but how much of the data can be converted to information, and how much of that information will be converted to knowledge, and how much of the knowledge will be converted to wisdom is a question. So from data to information to knowledge to wisdom is where the path goes on. And we talk about so much of data, but I think we'll have to invest time in acquiring knowledge, and knowledge will lead to wisdom, and wisdom will lead to better things. So says Ben Franklin, and I love Ben Franklin. You know what I mean, literally. But so investment in knowledge. There are people who spend more than $10 a day, and I believe that that $10 goes out somewhere else for neck down approach, but neck up is where the key is. And I think investment in knowledge, either it could be coming to this kind of webinar, I congratulate you, or it could be even more commitment, like talking to Srini and attending a class of this nature, and getting yourself trained in data analytics could be seen as a person who's more inquisitive and being in line with what's going to happen in the future, right? So come the next recession happens in cycles, everybody knows that. So come the next recession, you'll be more prepared to address the market in a much confident way, rather than waiting and watching and wondering what happened. And all the concepts that I'm talking about is pretty much supported by Gartner or McKinsey or any of these large firms. So, and I always use the hype cycle, because hype cycle tells you which are the technologies that goes up or goes down, or is it something that you need to invest on. And I've circled here a few ones that are of good interest to the community. And the analytics and big data will reach maturity in the next 2 to 5 years, is what is the prediction that says. So I believe that we are in the right time. So God has blessed you. We probably might have missed the .com boom. We certainly have missed the internet revolution, all of us, I believe. Otherwise, you should be 65 plus. But I believe none of them who are logged in are 65 plus. So which means I can confidently tell you that you have missed the internet revolution. But at least God is good enough to put us in this next wave, which is called the analytics. And it's important for us to take notice because of the major impact that it has, not only in our lives, but also in common man's careers. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about, we talked about Ben Franklin, talked about investment in knowledge. Let's talk about how the knowledge is being classified. And this is a very easy way of looking at it. The 4 V's of big data. I like to add one more V to it. It's the value part of it. In addition to all the 4 V's that I'll explain, if there is no value generation, or if there is no value proposition that's coming out, it's probably not useful, right? So I like to call it as 5 V's instead of 4 V's. So the volume, that thousands and thousands of data is being generated every single day. So how do we keep up with so much volume? And all these data is being flown into files and into documents, PDF, pictures, Excel templates. Everything goes into the enterprise warehouse. And how do you keep up with these kind of volume, right? So we need a different mindset, a different approach, a different technology that can handle these kind of volume and generate interest through that. Now think about sensor networks. The velocity in which that comes is unbelievable. Every single millisecond, you'll get some kind of transaction that's happening. So all these sensors, so many sensors are around. My own fridge at home tells me different messages. My TV is a smart TV. It tells me how much TV I watch, and it tells me how much of an idiot I am looking at the idiot box. Sorry for fun there. Don't take offense of it, but that's what smart TVs are for. It treats me as if I need more smartness. So velocity is something that's very, very huge. Can we handle stream data? Can we handle Flume? Concepts like that, right? How about the variety? We have so many different varieties. PDFs, HDF5 documents, JPEGs, MP4, MP3, and so many different versions of it. People are using their cell phones to capture more data, and everyone becomes journalists, so to speak. If some event happens, the first knee-jerk reaction is not going and helping another person, just taking the phone and taking a picture. So that's the knee-jerk reaction that people have. So variety of data is huge, and there needs to be a different mindset and a different tool set to analyze these kind of data elements that's being generated. Think about it, just think about it. Will you put in an big RDBMS with the fact table and dimensions table? Will you put an image file in there? Will you put tweets in the place? You'd be like looking at me funny right now, but that's actually what took Facebook to billions of dollar industry today. And as a matter of fact, Facebook is saved by Instagram, and Instagram is just pictures, right? So not even content so much. Veracity is about how much of worth that it is. We live in the world of memes and trolls. None of us know which one is true, which one is being trolled. So veracity is certainly something very, very important that we need to consider. So there is a data explosion happening, and I think these should tell you very clear direction as to how you need to participate in the next few years to come, and what you have to do today to address these kind of issues that's happening in the world, right? Even still, if you're not convinced, I'm here to tell you the last blow. TCS did an assessment in 2014. You can go to tcs.com/big data study, as I mentioned in the slide. You can go to spending by the industry, and in 2012 itself, companies are spending a lot of dollars in multiple fields. Telecom being number one, retail, of course, airlines, insurance, and I've been married to insurance domain for a very long time, and we do a lot of analytics work there too. When you look at the right-hand side, it's by functions. You'll see that most of the big data and analytics happen in the sales, churn, target marketing, those kind of use cases that would help them increase their market share, also decrease their churn and losses. So it's, the financial accounting piece is yet to catch up a little bit. HR is still lagging a little bit, but I think HR these days understands it. My colleague who used to work with me went to another firm, financial firm, but they put him in the HR group doing heavy-duty analytics. And you know why it is? To figure out how many employees will leave their organization. Now think about it. Someone in your in your company that you're working will predict whether you sitting on the chair are going to apply for a new job next year or not. Probably you yourself may not know whether you're going to leave the organization or not, but data will tell you, and how reliable you are to a very reliable way. It would tell you. A typical simple example is if you just go to LinkedIn.com all the time, you know that you're doing something, you're very interested in the market. That's what you're telling outside. So just a tidbit from my side, right? So if there is anything that you're
that reminds me, Arun, Target predicted using their analytics, their consumer behavior, and there was an article presented on that, right? So that is a really interesting one. Yeah.
And it was reported by the dad, the dad of the person who did not even know what is happening at his own home. But Target, living somewhere else, some other data scientist is predicting that what's happening with the baby, in the home. Even the daddy did not know that. Anyway, so that's it's really funny.
Yeah.
So I want to conclude the first part by saying that IT can become a burden, or IT, the data could become a propellant to the business. It depends on the people who are working in the organization. I think that's where it starts. There are a lot of high-profile examples here. I can go on and on. Connected monitoring is one favorite of mine. My neighbor all the time comes to my door and said that, hey, did you find my cat? Did you find my cat? One time what happened was their cat went away, and they went in the streets putting all these posters, and the cat did not come back for 3 days. Nobody knew where it went. And after 3 days, it came hale and healthy. Nobody knew what it ate. Where did it go? Where was it hiding? Nobody knew any of those. So if you have a connected monitoring like a chip, or probably I don't know how many of you use Fitbits. If you have a Fitbit like thing for the pet, you will be able to track it very well. Now drone is also becoming really big in the market, so those kind of analytics also happen. So let's go really quickly to part 2 and part 3. See, I promised you that I'll take the major session in part 1, which is my favorite, to talk about use cases. I think you probably might have seen a little bit of an eye-opener what it is. So let's go into being a little bit technology ready. Okay, let's get our hands dirty. Well, when I say that it's a greatest job in 21st century, what do you mean by clean all this data? So I call myself data strategist. But when my mom asks me, what do you mean by data strategy? I just tell my mom that it's a new word for janitor, data janitor. So data janitor, instead of cleaning, we go and clean the data. So that's what people do. On the left-hand side, it's a funny cartoon. If you're a data scientist, if you're taking a survey and the survey results are really pathetic, maybe 10% or maybe 11%, the best way to propose to your boss is 87% of 56 people who completed more than 23% of the survey thought so and so. So this makes it look really fundamentally strong, even if it's just 11% of what it is. Anyway, so let's go into fun part aside. Let's go into what is analytics. Analytics is basically the use of statistical and mathematical techniques. Again, I stress statistical and mathematical techniques on data to discover multiple trends, opportunities, finding better way to do things for a business problem. It could be business problem can be classified into either bottom layer or top layer, right? So either you want to increase your top line, or you want to make sure that your costs are going down. So those are some of the things that, it could be faster, efficient, smoother. It will tell you a few business decisions, what you have to do, right? Based on statistical and mathematical techniques. It's not like heuristics. And I know some people in the audience who are a little bit skeptical will say that, well, the fact of the matter is opinions counts. And the fact of the matter is opinion does not count. That's a fact. And So that's what we are going to talk about. Also, if you look at it in another way, it's about identifying trends, behaviors, and opportunities or risks. Basically, SWOT analysis is what analytics refers to. While you're continuing to do the observation and delve into insights from the results. So again, what is analytics? Analytics is basically to give you a competitive advantage by utilizing data and gleaning more insights from those data elements that you have gathered. Okay, so it could be classified into 4 parts: structured, unstructured, internal, and external. So you have structured internal, structured external data, unstructured internal data, unstructured external data. So analytics is the science of collecting and analyzing these things for the betterment, right? Now, you might be wondering, I think I'm doing a lot of things that you're talking about, Arun. So yes, that's true. You're probably doing almost what we already asked you to do in analytics, and probably that's called descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics is basically reporting. You have seen a lot of people come up and say that, okay, the past quarter results have been really great. We achieved so much so in the past quarter, but nobody knows how the next quarter is going to be. So descriptive analytics is talking about what happened, and that's where BI will sit, enterprise data warehouse sits, your ETL processes, reporting tools, SSIS, SSRS, Jasper, or any of these reporting tools sits there. That's where they sit. They tell you what has happened based on the data that you have collected, right? That's hindsight. But how about foresight, right? You can actually go to diagnosis, why did that happen? Why did we get to sell so much in this quarter? Is it just purely seasonal, or is it just because it's the summer? Is it climate and influence? Things of that nature, right? The other one is predictive. What will happen? What will happen? How the future will look like? That's what is predictive analytics, and that's where the entire business analytics relies today. But tomorrow it may not rely there. Tomorrow it might rely in the prescriptive analytics, which is optimization analytics. Before even you start, can you actually optimize it? I think Steven Spielberg put forth a movie called on prescriptive analytics long time back, and I don't probably recall the movie's name, but it was all about before even the person makes a crime, can you predict whether the person will make a crime? So that's where we are going, believe it or not. So where does the business analytics fit in the typical world of business intelligence? You see that there's a functional area on the left-hand side, there's a predictive area on the right-hand side. Usually reporting comes into functional, subjective areas, and data and right starting from data visualization is where analytics come in. So if you see, there's a lot of interest in the specific subject area. We call it as domain. People call it as industry. People call it as verticals. Whatever name you assign to it, it all means the same. The person who's a data scientist should know what vertical they are dealing with. Otherwise, you probably may not come up with the right visualization approach, or even choosing the right algorithms, because some algorithms may not work very well in a specific industry. Okay, so that's where we will probably leave there. An evolving database tech space is huge. So many databases, every single way, relational, non-relational. There are some people who say that, okay, let's not talk about third normal forms in a database. But if you take a database 101 course, you'll actually go through N1, N2, N3 normal forms. But there are people who say that those thoughts you probably have to unlearn in order to relearn new concepts like NoSQL database or columnar database by Greenplum or MongoDB or even graph databases, Neo4j, things of that nature. So this is evolving in a rapid pace. You might not be able to keep up with all the tools that's coming up. However, what you can keep up with is conceptual understanding and really strong fundamentals. As long as you have these two, you will be able to apply yourself in an evolving space anytime. And this is a great example that I like from IBM. We talk about regression analysis, classification, support vector machines, decision trees, k-means clustering, and hierarchical clustering, pattern matching, recognition, neural networks, deep learning. All these algorithms are all there. A typical data scientist goes into those algorithms in order to do a few analytic tasks. And what are those analytic tasks? It's predictive modeling. It could be churn analysis. It could be CLTV. CLTV stands for customer lifetime value analysis, or even genome predictions, like what we talked about earlier. It could be filtering, just target customization. Segmentation is a big problem, right? You can actually talk about that. Now, all these analytic tasks map to another market, and that market is another word similar to vertical. I think it all deals with a specific vertical. It could be retail, manufacturing, banking, financial. It could be mechanical engineering. In the last webinar, someone asked about, I'm a mechanical engineer. Can I actually do something with algorithms? I think absolutely yes. I'm an electrical engineer myself. So we talk about all these things. So I think by now you probably know the use of it. You know the structure. You know what is happening in the trends. A little bit of the technology space. We have also given you a few examples of clustering and all these techniques, the names of these buzzwords, as Srini put it, and how you could actually utilize these things. So I think by now we are probably ready to go to the third step, which is understanding what a typical data scientist will look like and how you want to do it. But I want to take a pause here because I've been talking so much, and probably I hope I did not lose anyone because of the timing of the session. I hope you did not doze off on me. If you did doze off, you can actually refresh yourself now. So let me pause here and then ask if there is any question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Arun. Actually, you take a break and then see if you can quickly come back to some of the questions raised by the audience. Someone actually from the audience asked about the fact that I'm a system administrator or a DBA domain. Is analytics going to help me? Basically, that was the question asked from the audience. So if you could throw some light on it, and as well as one of the other question was like, neural networks and machine learning, what it has got to do with data science or analytics. That was another question. So yeah, probably we can keep these questions towards the end of the session. But
great.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Yeah.
No, great. Keep it coming. I'm glad to address those questions at a later point of time, or even when we are talking about part 3, right? So,
sure.
Data science. Okay. Data science. Almost we have 1 in 5 jobs, and this is not. This is a statistic from yesterday or Friday of this month. So you will have, according to the study from Indeed.com, I think they are lagging behind. By May 26th of 2016, you had about 4.88 jobs per job seeker. So industry is there. Of course, it fluctuates with climate. Everybody knows that November and December is a holiday season. Everybody knows that the job market might be lower. But tell you the fact, I got a job in December. So there are people who really do it very well and therefore there is a blog too, how you can optimize yourself to seek in those kind of marketplaces. So nothing to worry. There's a huge job market in place. I think it looks good. I really like this to talk about it because it hits home a few concepts about what a data scientist should have from a skill perspective. I believe that curiosity does not kill the rat. Okay, so as long as you're very curious, I think data analytics field is going to reward you the most because you could actually see the same data in so many different ways. You can put a graph, you can put a PDF, you can do a histogram, you can actually do clustering and use the same data and look at it in a different way and think out of the box. And that's what is the skill that differentiates everyone. You know, people call it as hacking skills. You know, you need to do a little bit of hacking skills, and that's why big data or data scientist or even data analytics person is called the Robin Hood. You know, he's the good one in a bad world, right? Definitely you need mathematical and strong statistical knowledge. It's not like we need that right away. You know, I have forgotten math and stats the moment that I write the exam. The next minute you ask me, I'll forget everything because the field is like that. However, don't, you know, just check with Srini. You know, he can actually share some statistical and mathematical primer, which will get you up to date and running in just a few minutes of reference. Yeah, sure. I think that's there.
I think from Ennoble Group, you know, very soon we are going to start this online training session, training program by Arun himself, and we are actually planning to give this statistics primer or a refresher kind of material really available to all the participants who are going to sign up for that program. That's sure, Arun.
See, that's great. You know, that's great. You know, in fact, that means that, you know, you may not have prerequisites coming in. You might be fearing whether I'm capable of doing it, but not to worry. We are there to help. You know, and the other part is the substantial experience. You know, if you're an experienced person, that's great. There's a little bit of unlearning though, but you know, it's a lot of experience dealing with data. That's why our structure of the coursework, you see, we have structured in such a way that we'll have a lot of specific nuances of real-time data. You'll be dealing with data from industries, financial industries, from my previous projects, things like that, which are typically available open source, that you can actually deal with. And that itself should give you a lot of experience, not only in the domain, but also having substantial experience in dealing with data. A combination of these three skills is what a good data scientist should have. And I believe that industry, because of the hype or whatever it is, people are out there, they just know a little bit of statistics and come down as big data scientists. Or these days I see a lot of people who know how to do modeling. I don't know why they jump into models without even doing the fundamentals of it. But if you ask them a few questions on clustering or doing EDA, they probably might not know what they're doing. So I think we will actually give a wholesome picture of what a good data scientist should be from a foundational point of view. And once you do that, you know, you should be able to address what McKinsey is talking about, saying 190,000 people do not, you know, a shortage of data scientists. 1.5 million managers or analysts are also needed too. But as with every boss, my boss is one too. They expect they expect miracles to come out, right? They see that, you know, and some students also say that, okay, once I come to Ennoble Group, and can we actually lift these weights? You know, but my answer to it is, it's data and analytics is a global unifier. A person who has 1 year experience dealing with data and calling themselves data scientists can sit and be on par with a person who has been 10 years in the industry and still be equated, summed up equally, right? And that's why it's a unifier. So a person who's a baby in the industry should be able to also compete in the marketplace, pretty well, because of the technology, because of the data, because of how new the field is. There is a word going around the market in 1990s. If you come to United States, if you know how to move a mouse, you'll be hired. That's the type of wave that you're looking at right now. So Wall Street Journal very recently, I think last week or so, came up with an idea saying, let's analyze what data scientists do on a daily basis. And they came up with it on a weekly basis, how much the effort that's being spent. And I think that most people spend their data in data cleaning and performing exploratory data analysis. It's called EDA. And basic data exploration is something that's very, very foundationally very important, because it deals with maybe principal component analysis, having multiple variables shrink into a few variables and take that of interest alone, those kind of things. And we'll talk about certain visualization that comes in place as well. Machine learning, someone asked a neural network question, all those things, probably around 10% of work will be involved by the person. You can always switch machine learning with neural networks or any other sophisticated algorithms. These are all different algorithms. I hope I'm answering the question in the same way. That as you go through the analytics journey, you will see that for certain aspects, which is somewhat classified as unsupervised learning, you probably have to tend yourself with a different approach. But if you have a supervised learning mechanism, you can actually use a different approach, like regression or any other mechanisms of analytics. So in essence, we will be focused. Our practical training also will be focused on the same lines: EDA, data cleansing, machine learning, and then predictive analytics. How do you stand tall among all the data scientists that's available in the market? Everyone calls themselves a data scientist. What are you going to do? You would be vetted out whether a person is able to understand use cases and applicability of the concepts. See, anybody can actually rattle, like me, what I'm doing right now, to talk about a few algorithms that right? Anybody can talk about CART, for example, or any other algorithm that you have created. I have created my own algorithm. That's a different story, and I can blurt out certain things. But it's about applicability of it. How can you utilize it? What is the business benefit that you're driving, and what is the value that you're bringing in? That's what is the key, and you need to train yourself to do that. It's a different thought process. It's a mindset, and that comes through a few learning experience that you have to do it through. You need to be pragmatic, and you need not be very theoretical. We'll have to understand the domain. Without domain, probably we may not be able to drive the right skills. Although we'll have the right technical skills, we may not know how to deal with industry problems. And of course, we get to the basics. That's how you stand tall. So these are the intro course, medium course, and advanced level courses that we are trying to explore here. I think at this point of time, I'll probably engage Srini to talk about a little bit of what Srini and with my help, how we are going to structure it, what we are going to impart a little bit. And it was nice sharing a few thoughts and a few monad of thoughts with this forum.
Great. Thanks a lot, Arun. I mean, some of the I just would like to bring forth some of the most commonly asked questions, Arun. One of the question I always get to ask in this kind of sessions is like, what is the significance of R, programming in R, in the context of data science, and how difficult it is to learn R?
Okay, that's a wonderful, wonderful question. I always get excited when someone speaks about R because there's a lot of studies on R. R is there are more than 1,000 packages that's happening in R and more. As we speak, there are the community of users is thriving, primarily because it's free, and primarily because it's also extremely powerful, and it's scalable. You can actually make it parallel. You can deploy it in a Hadoop infrastructure in big data, and drive a lot of skills. And last but not the least is not it's English-like, and it's not very syntactical, which means you need not be a programmer or programming background to learn R. I'm not a programmer by background. I'm not a Java programmer, but I'm an R programmer. I know R a little bit because you can deal with R without syntax. You can actually write English-like language and just generate it. It's a scripting way of dealing with it. So that's why R is so good. R is extremely powerful. It's the higher version of Yes. Yes, programming language did not get popularized in the industry so much. It was produced in Bell Laboratories. The people who like to include what Fortran could do. Fortran was very extensively in data matrix manipulation. 1,000 by 1,000 matrices could be manipulated. It's heavily mathematical based engine. So they wanted a mix of Fortran and C together. So in a language. That's why R is extremely powerful. And no, you don't need a prerequisite to be a programmer to know R programming. Anybody can be an R programmer.
So if I understand correctly, we in this course, we are predominantly focusing on R rather than Python, right? So Python is another way of getting there, probably, right? So
yes, Python is made its strides by doing a very extremely good in scripting and you know, a lot of tools that's there with Python. Both Python and R are leading, no doubt, but R is extremely good leading with actual algorithmic data science. You cannot do algorithms so much in Python, although a few concepts that I use right now Python for is NLP, natural language processing. I think Python has a better package than R, but other than that, you know, we will be focused on R right from introduction level to the course. So you'll be pretty much the people who are logging into the session will be empowered through R. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So anybody from the audience, if you have any other questions or anything, please raise your hand or ask the question in the chat room. I can actually speak it out to Arun and he can address it up. Or if you really want to come on air, I can actually unmute you so that you can ask the question to Arun. Let me know. Okay, so apart from that, I think the announcement is that with this great introduction, and Arun, believe it or not, we are getting a lot of you know, response from the first session as well as in the second session for the upcoming online course, and they're all very curious about the date of the course, commencement of the course, and the fee structure, and all the questions they're asking. So in a couple of weeks, we are planning to start our online course, and in a couple of days, we are going to send out with all the details, right, to your email address. And if you have any questions, right, so you can always mail us at info@ennoblegrp.com. I'll just for the convenience, I'm going to type it out in the chat room. Okay, so you can send out all your queries or questions towards this course. Okay, so I just send out that email ID to you all. So apart from that, one of the questions I always get to my mind, Arun, is like, you know, I am a business analyst, or I'm coming from a database administrator background. Learning data science, how exactly it is going to improve my career opportunities, because I am already
Yes.
a system administrator or a database administrator or a business analyst. Okay, now I am learning data science or the applied analytics. How exactly it is actually going to enhance my career opportunities? Can you please
Yes,
address the
great.
question?
That's a great question. Actually, I'm sorry that we missed to answer that question. Um, as a system administrator, uh, you probably might be using a lot of optimization tools that goes on, and those fundamental concepts. Fundamentally, it's all analytics in the background, anyways. It's just represented in a different tool format so that you can digest the information very quickly. For example, Flume or even Spark and all these tools that are in the Hadoop world. They take in as the events that's happening in a large enterprise data warehouse, and they could actually see how many writes, how many fetches, how many buffers, what is the RAM level, is there any corruptions, is there any contingency issues, how are the table, what is the performance optimization routines, all of them, those data are all generated. Now you could actually utilize maybe with this knowledge, I'm just throwing a use case to you, saying that, okay, you could actually predict how much of volume, how much of load will happen in the night versus different time in the zone. And you can actually take a nice picture of it and analyze, saying that, you know what, for the past 1 year, every time at 10 o'clock on Monday, every Monday at 10 o'clock, there is some job that's running. Because of that, there's a severe stress in the load. It might be just because people logging in. It might be people because there's a jobs that's running in there. So you can actually do a lot of things just with data. And think about this. Data analytics will enable you to think out of the box for resolving some of your existing problems. And I quote Einstein on it. Einstein said that a person who, the same mind, which is a problem mind, cannot find the solution. In other words, what he's trying to tell you is you want to be in a solution way. That's what people talk about, think out of the box or think differently and things like that. So I think data analytics will help you in that way. If it is a data warehousing person, you're a DBA, you could utilize analytics on the same fashion, saying, okay, how much of these fields will be needed and how much of these reports will be utilized. I'm in a position where I can comment on a few engagements that I've done with enterprise-wide data warehouses. I've worked in a company which has more than 650 reports. Nobody knew why we created 650 reports, and none of those top, other than the top 20 reports, none of them have been utilized for the entire year. So can we predict any of these? Can we generate some insights based on the data? Can we use the data to, and most of the reports are management reports, other than compliance, regulatory, other than those things. Most of them are management reports. And why do people need management reports? For making decisions. Well, how can we enhance these things? By moving one step further than descriptive analysis, going to prescriptive or even predictive analytics. Utilize existing reports. Take the data from the existing reports. Can you actually show a little bit more value so that you will actually be in charge? And I've improved my career by just adding few more values, small values of extra value that people have not thought about, and that's how I have improved my career as well. I hope it helps.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful, Arun. Actually, you answered it pretty well. What I feel is, like, unlike many other people, you are coming from insurance finance applications background with a lot of, the real world exposure, you have. So in the upcoming course, as a part of the project, I know it is completely application oriented course rather than just vaguely talking about high-level theoretical aspects of data science. Definitely, you are going to make sure that those people who are attending this course will get hands-on skills rather than practical, theoretical skills. So how exactly you are going to, I heard you saying that you are going to bring some of the data that you had interacted in your own experience to this course. So can you please throw some light, a couple of minutes on that one?
Yeah, that's the best part of Ennoble Group. Ennoble Group, where you actually look at it, is that among other companies, I believe that in Ennoble Group, a person who's coming in here will be able to gain practical knowledge and insights from existing aspects that we have dealt in the past. So if you take up a typical project, you're looking at every single course has a few projects and assignments that we need to work on, and we'll team up with a few people together and generate these kind of assignments, very interesting ones. And you will be actually very interested to look at the data itself and generate a few insights and understanding the insurance. For example, you take a claim example from a very large insurance firm, and you'll see how many claims have happened for a typical type of vehicles, right? You'll see that, okay, it's Honda being extremely sensitive to the losses. Is it Toyota? Is a safe car? Is it which one is better? All those kind of things you can actually deal with real-time experience that would kind of make you interested in the domain. It would also help you understand real-world problems as to how people look at data in itself. So, but Ennoble Group is the place where you can actually get that.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, definitely. Our focus or the differentiating factor in the training domain is that we focus a lot on the faculty, as well as because we believe that the experienced industry level experienced faculty will bring in a lot of value to the the candidates, because they learn a lot from him. And apart from that, we have our own way of the framework where teaching these or enhancing their skills so that they can upgrade themselves. So thanks a lot for that question, and thanks a lot for your good words towards Ennoble Group. So I think Arun, we can conclude this session. I hope everybody enjoyed. Yeah, everybody enjoyed or benefited from this webinar, I believe. So we are going to inform you about the upcoming online training program very soon. I mean, probably in a couple of days. We are going to launch the program, also training program, in a couple of weeks, actually. At the end of at the time of enrollment, please make sure that you mention that you attended this webinar, because we're planning to give special discounts for those people who attended this webinar. Thanks once again, everyone. And if you have any questions, please feel free to mail us at info@ennoblegroup.com. And take care. See you in the training program. Okay. Bye bye.
Pleasure to connect with you all. Bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.